What is up? What is up, YouTube? Hey, we are live while we doing our reactions, and dude, I'm trying to tell y'all right now, 𝗗𝗢𝗡𝗞𝗦, I'm trying to not mispronounce people's names. 𝗗𝗢 is real talk, man. She dropped some bombshells. Y'all gotta go check that video out. She dropped some bombshells on that joint. The daggone swinger people. I didn't even know that they was a official organization, nonprofit. They got their stuff together to do swinger type stuff, right? You can sign up. You got to go through this long thing to be a part of it, and then you get busy. But if you say no, no means no. They don't play that. And they had a nerve to say what Diddy did. Don't, because you know one of his lawyers said, well, he was just a superstar living the swinger life. No, he ain't living the swinger life. They coming back saying that. Just like the baby oil thing, Costco. We don't even sell baby oil. Man, get your stuff together, dog. You supposed to be a lawyer? Are you sure you're a lawyer? You and look here, y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. Let's see what Nancy Grace is talking about. Let's check this bad boy. Yeah.
Sean Combs walking into the courtroom. Namaste. What? A yoga Zen thing?
Greeting his lawyers with a yoga studio-esque bow.
Namaste. My rear end.
This is horrific that he's allowed to walk into court and he's being all cute and calm.
He can namaste his way all the way to the MDC. He wasn't all namaste in the middle of all these freak-offs. He can chill out behind bars for the rest of his life for all I care.
So this guy...
I'm gonna tell you like this, man. If Diddy get off, right? If Diddy get off, man, it's something crooked that went on upstairs. Real high upstairs. Some jurors got paid off. Something that went down crooked. It's gonna be a skunk up in that courtroom somewhere.
Namaste his way all the way to the MDC. He wasn't all namaste in the middle of all these freak-offs. He can chill out behind bars for the rest of his life for all I care.
So this guy isn't concerned at all with kicking her, beating her, dragging her. You know what he's concerned with? And Nancy, I'm going somewhere I never thought I would go. He's concerned with holding his towel up. He cares about keeping that. There you go. I thought I'd never go here, Nancy, but I have to go there because I woke up thinking about it. He's more concerned that we don't see that TR. I don't want to say the whole thing because this is a family program.
Tootsie
but that's
Roll,
what he's.
people have even gone so far to refer to it as a little raisin.
Straight back out to Sydney Sumner, Crime Stories investigative reporter. I understand that Sean Combs had his son, Christian Combs, along with his god uncle, Kanye, very busy last night.
Yes, they have released an EP today, and one of the songs on that EP is called Diddy Free. And the lyrics say that we aren't going to sleep until we see Diddy free. And those lyrics actually mention you, Nancy. They don't understand, but they stand me. Tell them, give me grace, even Nancy. So this isn't the first song that he's released speaking about his dad's legal troubles. And honestly, I don't think they're doing any positive things for him. This Bible might come in handy. This rifle might come in handy. I don't think threatening gun violence is really doing much to persuade anyone that your dad is innocent of these crimes.
Okay, you know, the jurors get to go home every night. They are not sequestered, and they can be exposed to this rap song created by, God help him, Christian Combs and Kanye. Why you would want your child around Kanye, I do not know, but that's a whole nother can of worms. Let's take a look at the lyrics. Ain't gonna sleep till we see Diddy free. Ain't gonna sleep till we see Diddy free. When it gets sus, they try to play the victim. Playing the victim, that's an attack on the victims. Outspoken, I ain't keeping in. Blah, 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 blah. Now, you know, I noticed part of it refers to a Plan B, which is an abortion drug, which came up during this trial. It says they ain't got to lose. What are they talking about? The victims or the jurors? I ain't one of them. And then it goes on to talk about Astroglide. And it says, like, damn, why the am I in the tabloids? You know what? That's a really good question. Why Combs's children have been dragged into this? They are being used as a PR tool. And now, you want to tell me this happened without Sean Combs knowing that it would drop just before the defense closing arguments? Further looking at the lyrics that dropped last night, the Bible might come in handy. Like what? It's a prop. The rifle might come in handy. I don't know if my dad was charged with brandishing weapons, if that came out in evidence, and I'm referring to the Suge Knight attack attempt that the minions described on the stand. I don't know if I would be talking about a rifle. Then, of course, Christ gets dragged in. It's one night I want Jesus Christ to answer. Then they want to stop me, the kid. They want to stop the kid like a plan B. Okay, we heard the testimony, and we know about, whether the jury understands it fully, that one woman was forced into an abortion. They don't understand me. Tell them, give me grace, even Nancy. And it refers to Bad Boy throughout. That would be Bad Boy Records. Okay, let's hear it.
They don't understand, but they stand me. Tell them, give me grace, even Nancy.
Oh my God.
Okay, you know, some people ask, are you angry? No, I'm not. I'm full of remorse for what Sean Combs is doing to his children. Eric Faddis joining me, veteran trial lawyer. Have you ever prosecuted a case where the children, unless they were the victims, thought their parents did it? Because I don't think I've ever had a case where the children thought their dad was guilty. Even adult children, they never believe the parent did it.
Damn.
Yeah, Nancy, I can't think of one. Really, the family often rallies around the defendant in these cases, provides support. They want to believe. They want to believe their family member is not guilty of these heinous allegations. And that's understandable. But oftentimes, like you mentioned, the family can be brought in sort of as pawns, sometimes in the trial itself, sometimes outside the trial, especially in these highly publicized cases. And I think a lot of folks think that may be what was going on with Diddy and his children.
Let's take one more listen to Diddy Free. This is released by possibly the only person in the world that thinks Sean Combs is innocent, and that would be his son, standing by him. God bless him. Christian King Combs, and of course, the illustrious Kanye.
They don't understand, but they stand me. Tell them, give me grace, even Nancy. Tell them, pump they...
Whoa. What? A yoga Zen thing? What are you talking about?
Well, Nancy, I don't know if you've ever been to a yoga class. I used to attend pretty often, but you just, at the end of class, at the beginning of class, you put your hands together and you do a short little bow to everyone else in the classroom to show your respect for everyone. And that's exactly what Combs has been doing to all 8 of his lawyers in the courtroom every morning when he comes to see them.
Sydney, you cannot live in New York City, in Manhattan, and not be subjected to a yoga class, particularly a hot yoga class, the worst. But what you're saying is like a Zen namaste. Oh, okay. You know what? Straight out to Lynn Shaw joining me, executive director, founder of Lynn's Warriors, dedicated to ending sexploitation, trafficking of women and girls. You know, namaste my rear end. He can namaste his way all the way to the MDC. He wasn't all namaste in the middle of all these freak-offs. You know how big of a stack? They had to do an 800 number for all the women calling in claiming that they were victims of Sean Combs freak offs, king nights, hotel nights, whatever euphemism he wants to use. These women claiming they were drugged in their drinks, that they woke up covered in baby oil with their vaginas hurting, and he's all namaste my rear end.
What a slap in the face to all victims of any kind of sexual exploitation, abuse. I mean, this is horrific. And you know what? I'm putting my money on the jury that everybody can see right through this act of contrition, because this is horrific that he's allowed to walk into court and he's being all cute and calm. And you know what? Yesterday I was saying I don't want to call him the nicknames I've called him, Dirty Diddy and things like that. But today I want to go back to that because I am sick and tired of this. Who is protecting? Who is talking to? Who is giving advice, counsel to these hundreds, as far as we know, right? Victims of his, probably thousands over the years. So I'm just hoping that this playbook of his, this Dirty Diddy playbook, everybody's onto him. Everybody's sick of him. And you know what? We have to turn that focus and hope and hope and hope that victims, survivors, anybody watching this, he's turning it into a laugh stock fest here, some kind of festival. This is a court of law. He's supposed to be up for his life, right? And the family and him and the lawyer singing. It's too much, Nancy. It's just too much.
I know. Did you hear that yesterday, Dr. Bethany Marshall? You were with us last night when we learned that 𝗟𝗚𝗡𝗞𝗦, the defense attorney, went on the mic and started singing, her name was Lola. He started singing 𝗗𝗢𝗡𝗞𝗦 in a sex trafficking trial. And it just threw me over the edge because I have dealt with rape victims. Look around. I'm looking around the studio. At least 1 in 4 women have been sex assault victims. Think about that. Think about it. People you'd never suspect have been sex assault victims. And he's singing 𝗗𝗢𝗡𝗞𝗦 into the microphone, and now Sean Combs comes in and does the namaste. Really? He can chill out behind bars for the rest of his life for all I care.
Nancy,
What's the dichotomy? What is this?
Well, it's one more male, and females do it too, minimizing the severity of sex trafficking. Nancy, I don't think our nation or world really understands what sex trafficking is. This whole question that maybe the women consented, that means they were in a relationship and not that they were coerced, is so false when you think of the whole psychology of sex trafficking.
That's true. A lot of people don't really know the definition step by step of the sex trafficking thing. But at the same time, is this the one I was going to click?
And we are in a verdict watch here at Crimes.
There's a lot of things that they don't understand, just like distribution of drugs. No money needs to be involved. I just found that out myself. I was like, what? No money needs to be involved. And yeah, most definitely, if you giving the drugs away for free, that's against the law. You buying they illegal drugs. They are legal. And you giving them away for free. Nah, cuz you still in trouble. Look here, we're going to do this one right here, man. We're going to do this is a 2-for-1 Nancy Grace Day.
And we are in a verdict watch here at Crime Stories, but it all boils down to what 12 individuals believe. 𝗟𝗚𝗡𝗞𝗦 used one old tired phrase after the next. She wanted it. She got paid. It was just homemade porn. Really? As if that's a defense?
The jury and the galley was looking like, sir, what are you talking about?
𝗟𝗚𝗡𝗞𝗦, the lead defense attorney, stated that Cassie was gangsta. Did he actually say the word gangsta? The white bread boy from law school called the rape victims gangsta. Did I just hear that?
Cassie was gangster. Cassie was a minx that seduced all these men. She was gangster. She could take 2 or 3 men at a time. This is a woman that liked sex. She liked it. She was in control. That was a very cringe moment.
Oh, okay. That was way cringy.
I still think Diddy is running the whole show.
He certainly likes to win and have things his own way. I know he's looking at that jury like an audience.
This whole gray hair act, you know, he's doing that on purpose.
He always is thinking about image. He's always thinking about himself.
He was trying to look contrite. He wants the jury to feel sorry for him.
He's been on stage and he knows what it's like to lose an audience.
He doesn't want the cameras to pick up on this.
Now he's sitting in this courtroom and he can tell, he's a professional at this, Nancy. He can tell that this just is not working.
Vanity, thy name is Diddy. Okay, let me understand what you just said, Tisa Tells. Everyone, Tisa Tells from Tisa Tells on YouTube, joining us outside the courthouse. And what a day it has been in the courtroom. We'll get into jury instructions in just a moment. But did you say that 𝗟𝗚𝗡𝗞𝗦, the lead defense attorney, stated that Cassie was gangsta and that she was fine to take 2 to 3 men at once?
He said that what he actually said was she would juggle them 2, 3 at a time. But Nancy, you hit it on the head. That inference, that little sly, gross thought he was trying to plant in the jury's head, 2 to 3. Let's not forget when she was getting the train ran on her. It was 2 or 3 people. It was disgusting to see what he was doing. And that inference that you picked up on was not lost on the jury. He lost them with that old school misogyny. It was too much. It was too much.
Okay, wait a minute. Did he actually say the word gangsta? Did he say that?
Yes, he said Cassie was straight up. And this is right after he was referring to her juggling 2 or 3 at a time. Cassie was gangster. She didn't care. I mean, I guess I don't want to sound judgy. There's nothing wrong with this. This is a woman that liked sex. She liked it. She was in control. She knew what she wanted. It was back to back to back grossness. And again, I can understand if the prosecution had not done such a great job with their closing arguments, maybe you could have skated by, but it was night and day, and it really made the jury, in my mind, say, whose side are you on, and where are you going to draw the line at where you see victims? It was very startling.
So let me understand this. The white bread boy from law school called the rape victims gangsta. Did I just hear that?
Yes, and again, it sounded just as cheesy and corny and landed like a load of bricks, but he still did it. And it made me think, was Diddy involved in that closing argument? Was he giving him notes about, no, call her straight gangster? Again, maybe right message, wrong messenger. That was a very cringe moment. You know, as soon as it came out of Mark's mouth, you could tell he just wanted to make that go away and just move on to the next point.
Okay, joining me, Rob Shooter. He is the host of Naughty But Nice podcast, and you can find him at Rob Shooter, and that's SHUTER, not Bang Bang Shooter. RobShooter.substack.com, former publicist for Sean Combs. Okay, I'm just trying to get that mental picture of 𝗟𝗚𝗡𝗞𝗦, the white bread boy from law school, fixing his mouth to call the rape victims gangsta, and they could take it. That Cassie could juggle, pull a train, 2 to 3 men at a time. You're the PR guru. I bet that fell flat.
Worse than that, Nancy. It's absolutely tone deaf. I'm shocked that Diddy's paying good money for this legal team. And Diddy is a perfectionist. At least when I worked with him, he certainly likes to win and have things his own way. I can't believe that this is the argument that they're using, that he's allowing them to use, that he's not objecting to it. He has made a living for 20 years, really, really understanding what the audience wants. And I know he's looking at that jury like an audience. He's been on stage and he knows what it's like to lose an audience. He's played the Garden, some of the biggest venues in the world. Now he's sitting in this courtroom and he can tell, he's a professional at this, Nancy. He can tell that this just is not working. I am so surprised that they are doing this, and I'm even more surprised that Diddy hasn't at least tried to correct this ship. It's a bad, bad look.
They had Sean Combs dressed up like a Harvard freshman again in court today, wearing his usual cream-colored sweater. But I heard that throughout the judge's instructions, very often he had his head down. Why? What was happening?
When he had his head down, for some reason, here's the thing. He had his head down. I get what he was going for. He was trying to look contrite. He wants the jury to feel sorry for him. But I will say his messaging and his body language has been very off. Diddy, every morning, he does come out the door like a celebrity. He walked in. He paused, almost like he expected everyone to take pictures and whatnot. Now, this is maybe 8 feet he has to walk. He walked to the side. He did his smile. He did the love. He blew kisses at his family, told his daughters he loved them, mouthed, I love you, and then said nodding, because he remembered he's supposed to be a frail old man. He forgets sometimes. In his head, I think he's that young, sprightly 25-year-old that can, shake hands, kiss babies, and charm the ladies. I don't think he realizes that he comes across a little creepy in court. So when he has his head down, it looks like, I get it, you're trying to look sad, but are you going to sleep? Hello? Are you up? When he's sitting there trying to look contrite, he looks like somebody's grandfather trying to look like a 3-year-old. Even when you look at his body language, dressed like a Harvard law student, always a fresh haircut, but his hair is graying, which, again, where are you going with the image? I would think that if you are being accused of making these women do freak-offs and it's something you do to please your lover, you would want to look as young and handsome as possible to make it seem like these girls could actually be attracted to you without coercion. That is not the case. So again, it's just another misfire and Diddy thinking he knows more than anything. Now that said, like Rob said, he's made a whole career out of reading people. So maybe he sees something on the jury that we don't.
Okay, Rob Shooter joining us, host of Naughty But Nice podcast. Rob Shooter, if he walks, the first place he's going is to the Duane Reade or the CVS right around the corner from the courthouse. Actually, he would send a minion to do it. He wouldn't do it himself. And tank back up on Just for Men. This whole gray hair act, he's doing that on purpose to make himself look frail and pitiful in front of the jury. Not like a guy that could beat Cassie Ventura's rear end on video, dragging her up and down the hall. And as was pointed out last week, holding on, he didn't mind beating her with one hand. But one thing he did hold on to, was hold on to that towel so this wouldn't show. Okay? Let me see that video one more time, please. No matter what he did, he did the all-star punting kicks. He came running down the hall. Look at that. Grabbing her stuff. Ow. Okay, I never get past those kicks while she's laying there, playing dead. But he never lets go of the towel. And many people have suggested it's because at all costs, he doesn't want the cameras to pick up on this. Okay?
Oh, my God.
Vanity, thy name is Diddy.
I think that's a beautiful, very, very smart way of really summarizing who he is, Nancy. He always is thinking about image. He's always thinking about himself. He's always thinking about the way he can sell something. Let's be really clear here. Puffy is not a star because he's a great rapper, a great singer, a great actor, a great dancer. No, he's a great PR guy. He's a great marketing guy. And so I would imagine he was pretty angry with his son for wearing that T-shirt because it's the opposite thing to what Diddy has been projecting, portraying in the court. So I would imagine Puff was not that happy about that. But I do think here it would be so easy and a mistake for us all to believe that this is over. The word that I'm hearing, not in the courtroom, but on the street, in the music business, is they're all expecting him to be home really, really soon. And so you got to take that into account too. It's very easy to get into this bubble where the evidence is so strong and what should happen is what we want to happen. But often that isn't the case, particularly when a marketing, a manipulative person is involved, and Diddy's that.
Rob, the daughters who have had to leave court several times in tears during the testimony, that's a whole nother can of worms, why he had his daughters and children in there listening to the worst of the worst from the state. They all dressed in black today. And I remember prosecuting, I never wore like red, yellow, vibrant orange, because the cases I prosecuted were all violent felonies. And it just seemed wrong. It just seemed inappropriate.
And so it's a very solemn note. And you know that Diddy orchestrated right down to what they were wearing.
Yeah, I think you're right, Nancy. What I will say, though, here is that there's a little bit of performance going on, too, with the kids. I don't want to go after someone's kids for their parents' crimes, but it has been undoubted that Puffy's kids have had a really amazing life because of their dad. And because of what their dad does and who their dad is, these are not the Von Trapp family. They have seen a lot. These kids have been around his parties. They've been around
Not
his
the
life.
Von Trapp family. Did you just,
Don't say
you're
that.
talking about, what, the 7 children of, in Sound of Music that would put on those frocks and sing at the Family Music Festival? Yeah, no, the Von Trapps, they ain't. That's true. Go ahead.
They ain't that. This is a family that has been around money, power, fame, celebrities, sex, violence. They've heard their dad's songs. They've rapped along to other rap artists. These are very aggressive lifestyles, and they were born into this lifestyle. So they're really used to seeing, hearing, and maybe even participating in some very, very, very what we would consider strange scenes, strange environments. So I wouldn't feel too bad for the kids here. I think that they're part of the Combs family. It's a deal that maybe they didn't want to make. They had no choice in it, but they've been born into this lifestyle and they have benefited from their dad's success, from his money.
I'm very surprised you brought up the Von Trapp family. Weren't they raised by a nun, Sister Maria? Remember her, a.k.a. Julie Andrews? Okay, these children have not been raised by a nun, okay? But following up on what you said, to me, Dr. Bethany Marshall, that makes me feel for these children even more so because they never had what I had. Of course, I grew up on a red dirt road drinking water from a well my grandfather dug in the backyard, okay? But you know what I did have? I had a mother that took care of me and a father. Both of them worked all day into the night, came home, had supper with us, and they were there for me. I mean, it ain't easy for my dad to work on the railroad and my mom to work at a factory, right? But they did. But we had love. These children never had that constant in their life. Now they're sitting in their dad's felony trial. A lot of people have asked me, wow, how do you feel about Christian Combs putting you on a diss track? I didn't see it that way at all. I didn't see it as a diss at all.
Yeah.
I saw it as an adult son trying to take up for his father. And I actually feel bad that they're in that position.
Amen.
I do too, Nancy. They've been raised in a culture of sex abuse, of violence, a culture of narcissism, guns, multiple mothers, half siblings. It's just a very confusing environment. And, this is going to be a therapeutic experience for them sitting in court because they have to take in all kinds of information about their father.
Have you lost your mind? Have you lost your mind? You're hearing your father accused of sex trafficking. Therapeutic, okay?
Yes, I am, Nancy. It's called
You're out in Beverly Hills, and I was raised on a dirt road, but ain't nothing therapeutic about hearing the truth about your father, that he's a sex trafficker. So.
I do, Nancy, because they have to be in reality. They've been raised in an upside down world. Listen to what Agnifilo said today, okay? So when he says that Cassie Ventura was just trying to please her man, just because your man wants and you don't, but you're just going to do it to make him happy. He's basically saying women need to take it up. Okay? As an analyst, I hear all the metaphors. I hope those kids sitting in court, hearing all this degradation of women, have a good therapist to talk to so they can make sense of it. And all of this putting women down because Cassie Ventura got $20 million. With Michael Jackson, when he paid his first victim $30 million. We didn't say that 9-year-old was a gold digger. We said Michael Jackson must have done something really, really bad if he paid out $30 million. And all this money, I think, is because P. Diddy really needs to cover his tracks.
Since Kanye and Diddy's son is putting out a song Uncle Mike is putting out his song, and it's going to be released tomorrow. Some people already heard him. I'm going to play it again on the live stream. I should play it right now because I got to make sure I'm clicking on the right one. Y'all want to hear the song? Y'all got to wait. Go to Spotify. Go to Spotify or YouTube. I don't know. I don't know how to work the thing, man. So I'm going to give her a thumbs up. I'm going to get on up out of here. Hey, y'all take it light, take it slow. Tell him Uncle Mike told you so. Peace out.